Hello everyone, my name is Muhammad Azratustra. My student number is 076 and I am from class B. This video for the course Introduction to Tourism taught by Mr. Fitri. The title of my project is Tourism Crisis Analysis in the end 2025. Labuan Bajo, Boat Tragedy and Bali Quiet Season versus the shift to Yogyakarta. In this video, I will talk about two tourism cases in Indonesia, their causes, their impacts, and what lesson we can learn from them. Let me start with the first case. The first case is the Labuan Bajo boat tragedy reported by RRI. This incident happened in Labuan Bajo, which is one of Indonesia's super priority tourism destination because Labuan Bajo depends heavily on boat-based tourism. The accident immediately raised serious concerns about marine safety and tourist protection. So this was not just an accident, it affected tourist trust, especially toward marine tourism in Indonesia. Now let's move to the second one. According to Metro TV, Bali was described as being quiet, especially during the end of year holiday season. At the same time, domestic tourists were traveling more to Yogyakarta. The situation shows that tourism demand didn't disappear, but instead shifted to another destination that felt more comfortable, affordable, and accessible. So, what caused the tragedy in Labuan Bajo? There are three main factors. First, weather and sea conditions. Marine tourism is very sensitive to nature. Strong waves and sudden weather change increase risk. Second, safety management and SOPs. This case suggests that safety procedures were not fully implemented, including emergency preparedness and safety equipment. Third, supervision and regulation enforcement. Even though safety rules exist, monitoring and inspection are often inconsistent. So overall, this tragedy reflects a system failure, not just a natural accident. Based on Tempo.co, after the incident, the Minister of Tourism stated that shipping permits and vessel seaworthiness are under the Ministry of Transportation. Legally, this statement is correct. However, from a tourism governance perspective, this response shows a deeper problem. Even though the Ministry of Tourism does not issue ship permits, the boats were used as tourism products, operating inside a tourism destination and directly affecting tourist safety and trust. This kind of response can be seen as defensive institutional communication. It limits responsibility, but at the same time it shows weak coordination between institutions. The real issue here is not who is responsible, but how shared responsibility is managed. Now let's talk about Bali. The feeling that Bali was quiet mainly came from the domestic tourist segment. Reports show that domestic tourist visit to Bali dropped by around 11.59% in December 2025. One major reason was extreme weather, including tropical cyclone condition in the Bali Strait. Because of this, many domestic tourists felt unsafe traveling by sea and chose land-based destinations, especially Yogyakarta. Another factor was price perception. Some local travelers felt that prices in certain parts of Bali were no longer friendly for domestic tourists and were more focused on foreign visitors. So the white situation was mostly felt by domestic tourists. However, Bali was not actually empty. According to the Minister of Tourism, the number of international tourists continued to increase. reaching around 6.8 million visitors, with a target of 7 million. This shows a clear difference between market segments. Domestic tourists are more sensitive to safety, price, and comfort. International tourists, on the other hand, were less affected and still viewed Bali as an attractive destination. So, what are the impacts of these two cases? In the short term, both cases reduce tourist confidence, especially toward marine tourism. In the long term, if safety issues and communication problems continue, Indonesian tourism image could be damaged. We can see several weaknesses in Indonesian tourism. These include weak safety standard, poor crisis communication, limited risk management, and weak coordination between institutions. So, what can be what can be done? At the operator level, tour operator should have mandatory safety training, certification, and regular safety audits. At the destination level, local authorities need stronger supervision and integrated emergency response system. At the national level, there should be standardized safety regulation, routine safety regulation, routine audits, and clear crisis communication channels. This action requires cooperation between the Ministry of Tourism, the Ministry of Transportation, and local governments. To conclude, these two cases show that Indonesian tourism needs more than promotion. It needs strong safety system, better coordination, and responsible governance. Thank you.